Hey guys, today's topic of the video is going to be about an important American writer, Robert Frost. He's a best known writer in all over the world, and his romantic and rustic writings are the mouthpieces of several romantic maxims. So in this video we're discussing the introduction, early life and literary life, important works and style of Robert Frost, and we are also discussing the kind of themes he is typically using in his poems and works. So starting with the introduction, but before starting I will suggest you to subscribe to my channel so that you can get all the literary updates from there. So starting with the introduction. So Robert Lee Frost was a famous American and English poet. He was a modernist poet and was highly inspired by romantic features of poetry. He is famous for the use of rustic language in his poetry. Robert Frost is the winner of 4 Pulitzer Prizes. His most famous poem includes Fire and Ice, Mending Walls, Bridges, Out, Out, Nothing Gold Can Say, Home Burial, his 1916 poem, The Road Not Taken. I have made videos on Fire and Ice and The Road Not Taken. So links will be provided in the description below. So his poem Road Not Taken, which is the best poem of him, is often read at graduation ceremonies in the United States and all over the world. So moving towards the early life and literary life of Robert Frost. He was born on March 26, 1874 in San Francisco, California, United States. His father was William Prescott Frost Jr. and his mother was Isabel Moody. His mother was from Scotland and father from England. On June 25th, 1876, Jenny Florence Scott was born, and who was Robert's sister. In 1879, Robert Frost had been sent to private kindergarten on his first ride back home, and the guide had trouble finding Robert's house, which caused Robert to panic, thinking he would never see his mother again, and then he began to protest every time his mother told him that he has to go to school, and later on he stopped going overall. So he didn't go to school later. So on May 5th, 1885, Robert's father died of tuberculosis, and when Robert was of 11 years old, and he was shocked his early life very much, and this incident shocked his life very much. In 1890s, Ernst Jewell saw Robert's poem, which was called La Noche Triste, and it was published on the front page of the school newspaper. In 1892, Robert graduated from Lawrence High School. He later started going to Dartmouth College until December, when he left it. On December 19, 1895, he got married to Eleanor White. On September 5th, 1898, they had their first baby, Elliot, born. In 1897, Robert Frost began attending Harvard as a special student. In March 1899, he left Harvard. In 1899, his daughter Leslie was born. In 1900, his first son Elliot died, and Robert's mother later died of cancer also. So these were 2 tragedies to him. On May 27, 1902, he had second son Carol. In 1903, he had second daughter Irma. In 1906, he started teaching at Pinkerton College in Derry, New Hampshire. On June 18th, 1907, Robert's daughter was born, but she was dead 3 years later. In 1911, Robert started teaching at New Hampshire State Normal School. From 1897 to 1911, during this first time, um, Robert tried and failed at farming, and his family grew. He did not complete any significant writing during that time. In 1912, Frost moved his family to England and acquainted himself with notable literary professionals Edward Thomas and Ezra Pound. So in 1916, Frost was elected into the National Institute of Arts and Letters. In 1963, Frost received the Bollingen Prize for Poetry. He toured all around the different universities in the world, and Robert died at Boston from fallout from prostate surgery in January 29. So moving towards his important work in 1890, his important poem La Noche Triste was published. Later, his first poem My Butterfly and Elegy was published and got him $15. Later in 1930s, 13, A Boy's Will was published, which was his first book of poetry. Later, another book of poetry, Mountains in Travels, was published. Later in 1924, his work New Hampshire won a Pulitzer Prize. In 1931, Robert received the Pulitzer Prize for collected poems. Frost received his third Pulitzer Prize for A Further Range. In 1943, Frost received fourth and final Pulitzer Prize for A Witness Tree. So moving towards the literary style and themes of his poetry, so these are the major of them. So Robert Frost's style was influenced by the early romantic poets, as we can see the romantic features in his poem. His poems are much about nature and transcendentalism. Render Gerald praised Frost's style as no other living poet has written so well about the actions of ordinary men. So I also believe that from England, Wordsworth, and from America, Robert Frost, these two, I think there is a similarity between them, because Wordsworth and Robert Frost's poetry is similar to me. They both use rustic language, they both use easy language, and they both are romantic. They are poetry, they write poetry for common men, common people. So important features of his writing in his choice of word and poetic diction, as he uses words from everyday conversation and use of rhythm and meters, make his writing fascinating. So his topics in poems are mostly circling about rural or pastoral life or an ordinary people, and that's why his poems are simple and rustic, just like Wordsworth. His famous poem Stopping by Boat on a Snowy Evening is inspired by the natural world. I have also made a video on that, link will be provided in the description below. He also creates a clash between rural and urban life in his poems and also uses colloquial language with abundance. His poems are written in lyrical, narrative and dramatic styles. His poems are also rich with metaphorical devices. So that's all. So thanks for watching. I hope you will like or dislike this video. Also comment in the comment box for further inquiry. And do subscribe to this channel, and links of all the desired videos of yours will be given in the description below. Thank you.